Britain apparently now issues more international bonds than the United States. A new report by the Independent Trade Association, IFSL, shows a 42% rise in the value of bonds issued in the UK last year. But this takes into account the pound's fall in value against the dollar and a sharp drop in total bond issuance last year. For more, we're joined by Marko Maslakovic, the senior economist at IFSL. Marko, I hope I got your name right.
It's very close, yes.
Close. You're very kind, probably too kind. So look, yeah, the UK is overtaking the world leader for international bond issuance. How much of that is due to sort of price movements and...
Well, I think it's due to two distinct factors. On the one hand, there are the more general factors, which is London's position as a leading centre for cross-border or international financial services. If you compare London to Tokyo and New York, London sources a much bigger proportion of its business from the international markets, whereas New York and Tokyo source a bigger proportion of their business from their domestic markets. So London has had a sizable share of this market in the past as well. It hasn't had the lead. It's taken the lead in 2008. And I think there are market-specific factors in 2008 that have contributed to this. These figures are originally published by the BIS, the Bank for International Settlements, so it's difficult to see what's really behind these figures. But we think there has been an increase in government-backed financial bond issuance on the international market. That's certainly been the case in Q4 of 2008, where government-backed financial bond issuance accounted for about half of all international bond issuance. And also there's been a jump in mortgage-backed bond issuance, which coincides with measures put in place by various European governments to boost liquidity in their own domestic markets.
I mean, undoubtedly, of course, also this year, a lot more companies have had to, tap capital. They've done it either rights issues or, I guess, bond issuance, because no one's getting any money from the bank, are they? So have we seen a big increase this year in bond issuance?
Well, certainly. I mean, 2008 was subdued in terms of corporate bond issuance and financial bond issuance, but we've seen record activity in the first half of 2009. And just in the first half of 2009, the activity has equaled the activity for the whole of 2008. And a trend that's been evident this year is that there's been an increase in corporate bond issuance in Europe, which has not really been the case traditionally.
And have those bond issuances been attractive to investors? Because presumably they've had to be priced
yes.
to get them away, right?
Yeah, well, I think there is a big spread at the moment between government bond yields and corporate bond yields. And if investors are looking for more safe investments, they're not going to make much money on the government bond yields. But on the other hand, the corporate bond yields have grown over the past year and a half, and they've actually reached record levels towards the end of 2008, although they have come down a little since. Yeah,
I mean, typically, if you're an investment-grade company and you've got pretty decent cash flow, what sort of coupon, what sort of yield are you having to sort of put out there to attract investors?
I really don't know the current yield, but I think they have come down in the past couple of months.
I mean, the interesting thing is whether London can maintain sort of the pickup it had last year, whether London is maintaining, I guess, its role this year through this issuance.
Well, I think this may very well be a one-off, because if Q1 2009 figures are anything to go by, the US should retake the lead in 2009.
because of the normal concept. Jeff, how much have you guys been looking at sort of corporate bonds?
Well, we've been looking at them quite a lot. As Marko said, the yields on them increased quite dramatically through the first part of this year and latter part of 2008. Have fallen back slightly, but when you advise clients to buy into corporate bonds, whether individually or through a fund, it's important also to recognize that it's not just the yield that you're looking to get, but also an increase in the underlying capital value. And a lot of corporate bonds have been devalued quite significantly because they've been factoring in defaults. And so you've got the risk of actually them not paying out at all and losing your money. But really, very, very exceptional circumstances would apply for that to happen. And only really, if you're going to suffer loss if you buy individual bonds as opposed to investing in a corporate bond fund.
OK, thanks very much. Jeff, you're going to stick around. Marko, thank you very much. Have a good weekend. Marko Maslakovic, senior economist at IFSL.